All right. We have an appointment at 11, so we're gonna get rolling here. And we have Alana running the virtual space. So I'm going off of my screen and I'm gonna do my best off of that. So it's our September team meeting. Hard to believe it's our second team meeting in our temporary virtual chaotic working space. But the good news is it very well should be our last. So we'll get to that in a minute. But we'll tasty cliffhanger for you there. It's honestly, it's been a really amazing month since the last time we got together, and I'm excited to share all that we have to review. But we'll get started with the thing that keeps me coming back, which is dun dun dun, our belief system.
But before we jump into that, that all of us are here.
Yeah, if you're even thinking of coming in, I'm watching everybody eat right now, so I would encourage you to I'd encourage you to pop in.
But do you want to speak?
It's actually here. Yep, come to the front.
Okay, there's two.
Step here really quick. Awesome. Thank you guys very much for your time today. Oh, I realize I got a paper over there, but I'll pass it to you in person in a second. So I'm here work with Cutco Closing Gifts and 360 Business Growth. So before I talk a little bit about what it is that we do, I do want to talk about why we do it and let you know that there will be an opportunity to win some free stuff. Definitely worth paying attention. So I guess I don't know where participation will be in person. Will you guys be my guinea pigs and participate and answer my questions? Okay, perfect. Yeah, excellent. All right. So do you guys keep up with the studies that the NAR conducts on a yearly basis about client retention? So, okay, well then I'll give you some fun facts. So on average each year, the NAR conducts some studies talk about how many clients would use their prior real estate agent in a future transaction. Any guesses to how many clients say they would use that person again?
Give or take 80%.
Yeah, give or take 80, 90 on a good year. Do you know what percentage typically does reuse their current?
I want to say it's 20%.
It's 20 would be high. I think 18 was like the peak. So, but it's anywhere between like 10 and like 18% to like 14%. So huge discrepancy, and it killed me because you guys as real estate agents, you spend a lot of time building that relationship with your client, providing them with quality service. And the most common reason when told that they don't reuse their previous agent is because they don't remember their name. And that also kills me. But people are being marketed to in a million different ways. The Facebook ads are friends of friends, and they're going to use the person that's most top of mind at that moment. So here to talk about an often underused area of opportunity, which is closing gifts. So a lot of the common closing gifts that I tend to see a lot of times, it's gift cards, it's bottles of wine, it's gift baskets or decorations for the home. And those are all really great. Hi, we're talking closing gifts. Those are great and they're appreciated in the moment, but they're forgotten over time. So there's three things that I recommend, three aspects of a quality closing gift that's going to help your business long-term, which is you want to have something that is a sincere expression of gratitude from you to your clients and something that's going to remind you of them. So ideally something that's got your information on it. Second of all, it should be something that has longevity, that stands the test of time. Otherwise, it's not going to last until they need you again. And thirdly, it should be something that's kept in hand, something that they're going to physically pick up and use on a consistent basis. So real estate agents, what is the most commonly gathered in room in the house?
Bath.
Got gathered in kitchen. Yeah, so the
You have
kitchen.
a 7-year-old?
So yeah, it's the kitchen. So show of hands, anyone use a knife or a pair of scissors in the last couple of days? Not in the bathroom. Very good. I recommend not using knives in the bathroom. I know some people use some knives this morning, spreading cream cheese on the bagels. So very commonly used piece. So one of our most popular items is Cutco. Has anyone heard of Cutco before? Familiar with it? Yeah. Awesome. Anybody own Cutco just for personal use? Awesome. How long have you had it?
Well, it's actually my mom had it since probably 2009.
Since 2009. Awesome. How do you like it?
I really like it.
You really like it? Okay.
It's a cheese.
I love the cheese knife. Oh my gosh. How long have you guys had it?
I've had mine for probably like 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do you like it?
Good.
Good, yeah. So it's got longevity. People keep it around for a while.
Yeah.
So what we do, we take practical luxuries and we turn them into long-term branding tools. So you can see how to show people on Zoom land and then I'll pass around. It is very sharp. These are like their sample, but they're actually just as sharp. So be careful. But we take it, we brand it very tastefully. So pass it around. Put it in a cute box, it's gorgeous, but it's got your information on it, so, even someone that doesn't cook very much, they're still gonna use it once or twice a week, that's creating 150, 200, 300 touches for your business every single year. If you're not familiar with Cutco, it's basically the Rolls Royce, the Rolex of kitchen cutlery. So it's made in America, it's forever guaranteed, so anytime, by the way, if you didn't know, anytime it needs resharpened or something's gone wrong, needs fixed or replaced, you can send it back to the factory, they'll fix it, replace it for free. And if you got your logo on it, when you send that back, they're gonna, if they replace it, they'll replace the logo and everything. So it's going to last the test of time. They can actually pass it down from generation to generation. So awesome product's gonna last the test of time. Now, who likes money? Okie dokie. Does anyone know how much you can write off per client per year as a gift, as a tax write-off?
Is it $500?
It's $25
Per client.
per client, yeah. Yeah, so typically agents will spend a little bit more than that on the gifts just because they want to make an impression. So they end up doing one of two things. They're either going to write off just a portion of the gift, or they're going to play a little bit of hooky with the IRS, and I don't recommend that. Anything that is branded, it can be 100% written off as an advertising expense. So it's a 100% write-off. What we do, we set real estate agents up with a system that works for their business. So I set them up with either a half year or a full year supply. This way they don't have to run around like a chicken with their head cut off last minute trying to give their client a gift. So we find a system that works for each person's business. I'll mention this quickly, but we also do all sorts of promotional materials. So anything you need, pens, cups, koozies, tote bags, hats, got it covered, as well as a greater selection of gifts as well. Cutco's just our primary thing. So I promise free stuff at the beginning, and I promise to take only a little bit of time. So in order to get into the drawing that we do on a monthly basis, there is a link, and I've got a QR code that I'll pass around. You can fill it out. When you fill it out, this is just to enter you into the drawing so everyone can be interested in it. Anybody that wants or is interested in strategic gifting, you can mark that. And if you mark that you're interested, I will reach out to you and we'll get you good. I'll get you set up with a system. And second of all, if you're like, oh my gosh, Naomi, I've been waiting for this. This is exactly what I needed. I need this for my business. Then just let me know and I will reach out to you first. Also, the first 5 people to place an order with me will get a gift from me to them of up to $150 in free Cutco. So yeah, I'm going to put the bit.ly link for that real quick in the chat. This way they can fill out and get entered into the drawing, and then I'll pass around my sheet.
I'll put this in for those online as well. I will put this information into the meeting recap email that I'll send out this afternoon. So that way, no missed opportunities.
Perfect. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Does anybody use my phone? Like for clients. Ryan and I used Cutco for years, and one of the gifts that we gave that was would say was a little bit of a surprise gift. I didn't expect was a good product, was the hunting knife.
Yes.
And like, it was super popular, right? Because you think like Cutco, you're like, oh, it's just gonna like live in the kitchen. We would get pictures. True. We would get pictures of like guys out in the woods with like their Cutco hunting knife with our team logo on it. It was pretty awesome. So I'm just throwing it out there. It's a great gift, and like she said, the tax implications are really beneficial. So make sure you're leading with revenue, but then when you're ready to do that and deliver a great customer experience, it is a great product. There you go.
QR code, you can fit me. Awesome one to the end of this one.
Cool. So our belief system. We're gonna start with this. In terms of what sets Keller Williams apart, it's this. To be honest with you, I had an amazing conversation with Fran in our Johnstown office, and we're talking about growth in the office and talking about what makes what really helps be the glue for our growth. And we leaned on that. So somebody's I think it's Karen. So we leaned on this and I thought it's a great pillar of the conversation. So our belief system, win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. So, can anybody else do that? Can anybody do that without looking? I might be the only one. So I'm going to challenge you guys when we're in person in the new location. I'm going to be doing gift card giveaways for people who can do that in person all the way through. Because if you're in virtual, it's like not trustworthy. Which goes to the T. So what I'd love to hear is any shares of anybody who's experienced the Y4C2Ts in action over the last 30 days. I'd love to hear that. I think when we share our victories, when we share how we're living our belief system, that's a huge opportunity for us as a company. So who's got one? Either in person or virtual?
I guess if no one wants to share, I can share.
You might want to come around and speak like louder.
I'm sure. But so for me, where am I? Here I am. So for me, I think teamwork together, everyone achieves more. Some of you might have noticed that I was not in the office on this past Friday. That was because I was actually at a Director of Agent Services mastermind in Dover, Delaware. And so it was a bunch of other people who are in kind of like my role at Keller Williams. And it was the first ever mastermind actually for the Director of Agent Services, Director of First Impressions. And so all of us kind of met and we're talking about, things that we think are going really well in our market center, things that like us as leadership would like to bring up and maybe uplift. So we were doing a lot of like workshopping and masterminding about, what we think that we could do better to better serve our agents. And it was a lot of kind of like information sharing and just a really kind of great way to work together, because we all kind of like realize like, oh, we all feel like, especially like in our role, it's like, a little bit more of like on an island, because it is not like a KWRI like officially acknowledged role like an MCA, or a TL or a PC. And so by doing this like through like our like region, and then we even actually had someone come all the way out from Iowa, and so all of us were kind of working together. And so that was kind of the first that I'd ever seen of kind of like that level of teamwork with across so many different market centers, that it was really uplifting. And so that's my teamwork and also why I was not here, but good things will come. So stay tuned.
Appreciate that. For the question in the chat, are we allowed to share this? Absolutely. Could you do me a favor? Could you send this out? Could you send the JPEG of this out in the next
I'll put it in the recap email.
In the recap email and also in the Facebook group, because then people can just save it out of there.
Yep.
Is that cool? That way we can get this out. I think like I'm super proud that this is our belief system, and I honestly brag about it. So that might
also has some cool graphics.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if you could hear that from the in-person crowd, but Command has good graphics that you can pull. So there you go. Anybody else have any other shares of Y4C2T? Lorna, go ahead.
So it kind of falls under communication. I met with a real attorney, my sister, and he found me the ins and outs, do's and don'ts, things that can get you in trouble, things that, kind of steer away from, and just over the top working with like closing companies and using attorneys clothing companies like that, which led me to a working event to get brought into, I forget exactly what it's called, but pretty much they have a chapter, there's one agent, one inspector, and they all create a group, married to each other, you know, know each other, invited to that, and then also lead me to get invited to it's a wine tasting working in with so I'm just trying to pull them in. Are you able to hear?
Sorry, I muted myself because I was trying to make sure we could hear you. I wasn't. What I heard was wine tasting. I don't know if that says something about me, but that's what I heard. It looks like she has good service. I don't know. We love it. We love it, but it's hard to hear it.
We love it, but it's hard to hear it.
Yeah, it's been hard this whole thing here, guys. But I have full service.
All right. Grateful that you shared it.
Whatever it was.
Whatever that was. Does anybody else have a Y4C2T share? I'm gonna also I'm gonna pick S for success results through people. And I'm gonna shout out somebody who's not here, which is Jennifer. So she's currently in Jennifer's currently in Texas. She's at Coaching Skills Camp, growing that skill set for herself to be able to come back and pour into us as a different version of herself as a leader. And to me, that is us as a leadership team really working on success results through people. It's really making sure that our people are equipped to provide better results here. And I love that she's willing to travel there, and I love that we're able to do that. We're at a place as the Market Center where we can do that, and we can invest in each other. So to me, that's a huge indicator of where we are. Success is not a firm target, and it's just continuing here as a Market Center. It's continuing to grow, continuing to help each other achieve what we want to achieve. And so that to me is the one I wanted to share. So I'm good.
Well, if you call that a success through people, I guess I have one.
Uh-oh.
Last minute share.
Uh-oh, Eva's coming.
So sorry not to hinder our new office progress. But I too just came back from career visioning. We did the watch party at Pittsburgh North, which was amazing. It was also teamwork because we teamed up with the North office and really were able to, learn a lot. And we had a lot of people there. I know Allie was there virtually, so it was really cool. We learned all about the career visioning process, how the KPA works, and how it sort of helps to set us up for success. Not just as agents, but as an office when we're hiring. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really awesome that we can learn these things and then pour back into you guys.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Common threads here. We're a learning-based leadership group. I love it. Deanna, love to hear from you.
So mine would be teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. So everybody knows that I sit on different boards, right? So one of the boards I sit on, I'm the treasurer of the board. And there was some land that came up and the CEO calls me right away. And I need a real estate agent. And normally, I refer it out to one of my closest friends who doesn't work for KW. But he was so anxious and adamant about it. Like, I called this person. I said, well, let me see if Andy can help us, right? And I got Andy on the line, and she said, give it 10 minutes, even though he was so impatient. But I say that to say, Andy stepped in for me and was able to write the agreement, secure the deal, and we closed last Friday.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. All right. I love it. We could share these all, that could be like a whole hour. I would be super pumped about that. Okay. Speaking of things that get me pumped up, the new office. I don't know, I know it's a little montage here, but do you see how smoking hot the entryway looks? How, I just like, oh my God, it's so awesome. We've come so far. None of this existed. This was a shell of a building. So none of this existed a year ago, which is how long it's taken and almost how long we're over timeline, but we're gonna get there. And you can see the HVAC hanging, the lights are up. Don't talk to Jennifer about the fact that the lights are not exactly perfectly straight in line with each other. It makes sense with the, yeah, it's what we needed to do in order to make the hallway make sense. And she's not here today, so we can pick on her. We have the kitchenette area, the coffee bar, everything is really coming together. So just super pumped. We are in the very, very home stretch. The last communication I have with the developer is that we're really waiting on some final touches. The second floor flooring, we're sorting out something with that. Really, really working to keep and restore the original like industrial wood floors, which is not as easy as we would have liked. But we're hoping the results will be worth the wait. So that's kind of where we are. And then from there, we move to final inspections. And then we get to have some teamwork of the T and work together with the city of Pittsburgh on our occupancy. And then we're good. So, so we're in the home stretches, but you guys can see from the pictures how close we are. So yes, very exciting. All right. The birthdays. It's not August, which is mine. So these people, September, no, I know. We have a huge, I know, it's true. We have a great list of birthdays. So Santana, Deanna, Pete and Steph, both. We've already had Gabe. We just had, I saw the post that went out. So happy birthday to Gabe. We have Shannon, we have Keith Hill, we have Mike Fink, and then we have the 29th was like a super busy day. We have Barbara, Meredith, and Lisa all on the 29th. So happy birthday to all of our September birthdays. While we're celebrating, we also have our anniversaries. So those that we can celebrate who have come on in the month of September, not this September, but you know, in prior years. So we're going to celebrate that they've been with us and happy anniversary. So we have Christina, Sandy, Meredith, Carl, and Ronnie, and oh yeah, Katerina, right? Kat. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So happy anniversary. Also, since our last team meeting, we have new additions that we're super excited about. We have Olivia and Hannah who joined our Johnstown office, and these are like great energizing new additions to the office that we're super pumped about. So welcome to Olivia and Hannah, and we're so glad that we have you along in our family. So we have a couple of other new additions as well that we are waiting on paperwork and the state and some other things like that. So stay tuned, but we're going to continue to celebrate all of our growth. This list pumps me up so much. So we actually shared this slide around the leadership group, and it actually made its way up to Johnstown because they were so pumped about how many of their agents are on here. But this is our home runs. So a home run is qualified as a listing taken, a contract written, and a contract closed in the same month. And these are all of the agents within our office that accomplished that in the month of August. And so that's phenomenal. We're seeing we're seeing that our commitment to getting our agents into production and success is coming to light. This list was not as long, probably 6, 7, 8 months ago. So congratulations to everybody, because everybody's becoming that's great to see. So, some big numbers getting tossed around here. Gotta watch this. It's gonna start to get competitive, I think. So, it's true, it's true. We won't take it away. So, top 5 agents for listings taken. We have Ally with 8, tied at the top there with Sue Pittman. We have Diane, who's in the Johnstown office. We have Jim Kaufman with 4, and we have Barry Gallagher with 3. So congratulations. We love listings taken because that's building the pipeline of future deals. We have top 5 agents for contracts closed. Diane, who I hope is out there somewhere today wearing a dinosaur costume. Because she's awesome, hilarious, and a super energetic person. Diane rocked it with 8 contracts closed in August. Heather, 6.3. So congratulations to you guys on that, and I hope you find the other 7/10 of that house. And then Josh with 5. We have Bill with 5, and then we have Jean with 4. And Jean, I think we celebrated in the month of August. I don't know if anybody remembers that little post that went out, but Jean closed an absolutely phenomenal deal. It was, if I recall correctly, it was the largest transaction of her career. So we celebrate everybody's wins. So that's huge. So another good one. Here we are year to date. Look at this. Ryan and Heather lurking there at the top with Jean. Jennifer, who is kind of sunsetting her production business in order to step into the leadership role, and she goes out with a bang. I think this makes it her best production year ever, which and this is being recorded so she can hear this later. Makes me even more grateful that she's willing to walk away from that production business at a time that it looks so good, because she believes so much in what we're doing at the market center level. So it's not just about the number or the production or the money or any of that type of stuff. It's also that, to me, that's to be able to make that move at this time says a lot to me. And I hope it encourages you guys as well. We have Jordana, who is crushing it there at $4.5 million year to date, while also lighting the world on fire on Facebook through her networking. She runs a really great wealth building group. So I was a guest speaker on it a couple of times. I don't even know, I can't see the audience, so I'm just speaking about everybody as if they're here. But Jordana's wealth building group is really, really good. There's like a lot of good information. It's just really good speakers that come in there, not just because I was one. But I would encourage you to build that bridge with Jordana if you don't have a lot of communication with her, because she has a lot to offer. We have Maddie, who working with the Edmondsons, and so you guys are totally cleaning up there in the top 10. Deanna, who's in there as well, and then we have Josh, Diane, and Fran. So tons of production coming out of Johnstown and Altoona, and those last 3, it's really cool to see that. So good for them. So congratulations to everybody at the top 10.
If I want to just step in here, so.
Yeah.
So these are the market center numbers.
Yep. This with the service.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want you guys to be able to see the screen. We're working on our virtual workspace here.
But so market center numbers, these are the market center numbers for August. And I know that I'm kind of like totally taking over this thing, but so this is.
You're good.
But so for me personally, I'm the one who compiles these numbers off the reports that either gives me clean. But you know, like statistics, just looking at them and the numbers personally doesn't mean a lot to me each month, because you know I look at them I compile them for a month, and then I don't think about it for a month, and then I like see new numbers, rinse and repeat. So what I did is actually kind of put them into, so these are all of our transmittal numbers in the past 4 months. And so, because I know that we have just been, you know, parroting over and over again, you know, like, oh, you know, we're finally pulling ourselves, we're turning into paid, this is the best month ever, you know. And so I think for those who are more visual learners like I am, this is the compilation of like those numbers. So, you know, when you do see, you know, I didn't include company dollar on here, but this is, you know, like we're up month over month by over 140%. And so like all of these numbers are, you know, building on each other. And so like really to see these results in my little Excel graphs. But yeah, so when we say that we are turning a page and doing better each month, like I think that, you know, these like, cause I just did this real quick with only 4 months, but I think it really just goes to show, you know, how we are actually growing and pulling ourselves out of, you know, the deficit that we've been working on for these past, you know, over a year at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Can you go back to the graph there? So, guys, the green that's on there is amazing. And just again, if you're not, just word of warning, in a shifting market, if you're not paying attention to your numbers like we do at the market center level, you're very vulnerable. I'm looking at this from the perspective of how do we look as a market center in terms of our financial health, and all of the greens are good, but the thing that you're going to look for that you want to see is you want to see your listings up, which our listings taken month over month is up. Listings taken year to date, we're a smidge down from where we had been. But if you think about the changes that we've had as a market center, that makes total sense. And I think we're positioning ourselves because the listings sold are still up, and we're writing more deals. Contracts written being up 18% year to date means we're writing more deals. Those then close, right? Because listing contracts written and contracts written volume tells you what kind of deals you're putting together. Those lead to closing. So then when you see it under the closing PCI, month over month, up 43% month over month, closed sale volume up 57%. Those numbers are coming from those leading indicators, which is phenomenal. And the fact that our total closed units is up 16.4% year to date is a really, really awesome number. So props to everybody. We are running a much healthier market center. So we say that, we keep it, like she said, it's a kind of rinse and repeat. There were times where we were looking at it and we were kind of had to like be honest about what we were looking at there. And it didn't always feel as good. But this is the result of a lot of really hard work. So props to everybody. And those are super cool graphs. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Who likes seeing the graphs better?
Yes. Show.
I think I do.
We can do more
I'm
visual.
a numbers nerd, but seeing the graphs like visually, I think helps.
Online, if you guys want to share how you feel about the graphs, we can continue to do this. And actually, there's ways we can take them away from the percentages and build them into our results and show the growth for.
Yeah. Is there a reason we're doing percentages and not actual numbers?
So we track the actual numbers, but what we want to look for is like the trend within ourselves, essentially. So the percentage is our percentage against ourselves. It's only a competition against us on those percentages. We can do the actual numbers for sure. We do it at a leadership level when we close out every month and we're doing this business meetings. But it tends to be a little bit more palatable to just look at the percentage against how we're doing against ourselves. But yeah, we can do that. We can even just do it as a summary. We can give like summary of closed units, summary of closed volume.
Yeah.
We can pull it. It's super easy to pull it. Yeah, that's a good ask. Thank you. Shares and wins. We have John kind of in the house. I know I saw Karen floating around and maybe Fran as well. So I'd love to hear what wins or shares they have there.
This is Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so Johnstown's doing well. We had 7 agents with the home runs in August, so congrats to all of them. We have the 2 new hires, which is awesome, and hopefully another one that's testing. As soon as she passes, she can't wait to get on board. So that is good news. And I just saw we had 2 of our agents in the top 10 in the market center closed volumes for August. So that's awesome as well. So things are going well. We're kind of getting in our groove now, 9 months in. Things are starting to click and go a lot more smoother.
Yeah, we've been having very celebratory leadership conversations with Johnstown about how things have really clicked, and I'm glad you shared that, so thank you. I also would like to point out that the updates to the building look awesome. Fran, I pulled in, it was like 8 o'clock at night the one night, I think, it was dark, and Fran was, did you see the outside? I was like, not really. And it looks great. So the new build, the updates to the outside of the building look phenomenal. So congratulations to all you guys.
Yes, it looks real
It
nice.
does look really
Yeah.
nice. Yes. So I saw it then. I paid attention. So but yes, congratulations to all you guys have. So thanks, Karen.
Uh-huh.
We have Altoona. So I was talking to Doug and I told him I'd be his hype man. Doug showed up to our morning huddle and he sounded silent, actually. You couldn't even hear him. So he's I'll share some of the notes that he wanted us to share, and he is very bummed. We know that Doug likes to be involved, and he does a great job. So so in Altoona, some of the wins. Bill Williams had $1 million month in August. They had 2 people who capped on their royalty, and the third one that they're expecting any day now here in September. And they tied their office record for the amount of active listings. Yeah, so props to them. And just generally speaking, like the energy that's coming from Altoona is awesome. And again, I have 0 idea who's in the audience, but I hope that we continue to have good engagement from the agents there, and vice versa. Like if you guys are ever working on anything in any of the locations, or you have referrals, like Lisa Whitman, I know has been very involved in like kind of crossing over between the 2 locations. We have great agents in both. Like obviously you're seeing top 10 agents that are coming from a market that has about half the average sales price that Pittsburgh proper has. So you know that these are hustlers. These are great agents that are part of our community, and definitely don't be afraid to do that. And I'm optimistic. We have some things that are coming in October, later in October, that I want you to keep an eye on, but that are going to be benefits that we're working on for Pittsburgh in terms of some learning opportunities and a mastermind that we're bringing to the city. And I'm hoping that we can like have our agents from across the different offices that can work together on that type of stuff. So hopefully I did okay on Altoona. So Fall Ignite, I hope you were all there this morning at 10. It started today at 10. There's Doug. Ignite started this morning at 10 a.m. It's every Tuesday and Thursday at 10. They had gone to an asynchronous setup for Ignite before, which if you all have PTSD from asynchronous school during COVID, it's a little disconnected. And they've gone back to like live class times. And so if you're looking for just to even like take advantage of the basics of like what makes Keller Williams, in my mind, like kind of a juggernaut for real estate agents, it's the basic systems of classes like Ignite, classes like 3612-3, which we haven't had out here yet, but we will. That just teach you the basic system. So, you know, in Ignite, it's going to be some of the things like how to build your database, how to work your follow-ups, how to do farming, right? So we've picked and chosen some of those topics to bring exclusively out here. But if you can hop in there, first of all, it's free. And if you register for the class, you get the content. So even if you're like, oh, I can't do Tuesday or Thursday at 10 a.m., just register for it, because then you can at least plug into the content and you can watch it as you want to. But I highly recommend that you do that and try to attend the classes as you can. So it's a pillar class of KW. These are 2 tech side classes. So one thing that's really happening in the greater PA region right now is they're bridging the gap between technology and productivity. I think there was kind of a misnomer that it was like technology was on one side and then doing the business was on the other side. The $0 to Capper class, that is something it's a newer class. George Kelly helped to develop that. And it's really about how to bring the systems in play to be able to use technology to be more productive. It's where technology and production meet. So just lean into these things. If you find yourself feeling like you don't even know where to begin, then at least plug into like the World of KW Tech class, which is an orientation to all things technology. If you're feeling lost or you're feeling like you want to get a little bit of a better understanding, all it takes is a little bit of time from you, and you'll be further along. I mean, this is the first one was Monday the 12th, but there's another one tomorrow, the 21st, at 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning. So if you can hop in there, that 1 hour can make the difference between you feeling like you're completely lost with technology or starting to be able to plug in. Don't let technology be the reason that you're not doing business. 100%. Oh yeah, I'm teaching on Thursday. So I'm teaching from the York office. They have like a virtual learning space there out of their conference room. If you didn't know this or hadn't picked up on it, I'm not very subtle about it. I am obsessed with the book Shift, and it's probably one of my favorite classes to teach. I am teaching a sort of a hybrid class of Shift. It's not going to really be a book club, but it's going to be sort of a follow along with the book and some content about productivity. It is a passion of mine, and I don't know if you've noticed, but we are in a shifting market. Does anybody notice that? Okay, so it's not a bad topic to talk about. And I'm going to be doing it. So I'll be doing it in person in York, but we're going to be doing it with the virtual learning space. You can plug in on Zoom, and we have the Zoom link available, and we'll make sure it's like on the Facebook group and in the wrap up email from here. Okay, so please come. Putting a lot of work into it. Here at the Market Center, we're doing more, and we're just continuing to drive tons of content here, and really looking to bring as much value. So, by the way, if you see all these slides and like you're just like, that's boring or that's lame or I don't really like what the Market Center is doing, you can feel free to provide feedback, because we want to do things that are relevant and attractive to you, and things that would be of value. So if you're like, I have an idea, what about this or what about that, just like give us that feedback. One of the things we've been doing, I think, to create a lot of interesting conversation, as we talked about this morning, is the Miracle Morning Book Club. So we started with book club before and we did Shift, and then we went to the One Thing, and now we've moved to Miracle Morning. And it led to a really fun conversation this morning of leadership, because we get on our huddle, and I was like, we were talking about book club, and they're like, well, it seems like it's hard to, what was it?
Sometimes it's hard to relate.
Yeah.
So, just sometimes.
So, well, I mean, I think the idea of it being a miracle, right, is probably plants the seed that it's not necessarily like something that's going to be super, super easy to do. But, you know, the concept of the Miracle Morning is to own your morning so you can own your day. As we were, and it even just in our leadership conversation, it led to good dialogue about how you can pick or choose or lean into that topic. So as a Market Center, I think it's a great topic. I'm really glad we're doing it. We have 3 more weeks. So the next one is going to be chapter 5, which is this week on Thursday. And then we do the next 2 weeks, the 29th and the 6th. And then we'll move on to the next book, and we're open to hearing feedback on what books are a must have for you. That like, what would be a book club that you wouldn't want to miss? Love to hear it. So cool. Forms. So forms part 1, Jennifer taught last week. Yes. And we are really we're doing this for 2 reasons. One is we're doing them for like the live in-person benefit of like really getting nitty-gritty and making sure you're a competent real estate agent. Remember, you have a fiduciary obligation and relationship with your customers, with your clients. And so not knowing the basics of the documentation that lets you facilitate your business is absolutely not acceptable. Like, let me be super clear, totally not okay. So showing up to the forms class and making sure that you're able to practice real estate effectively and safely, it's kind of a no-brainer. So that should be a class that everybody's at. The last one was good last week. I'm expecting part 2 this week to be great. Jennifer is I don't want to say she's probably as obsessed with forms and compliance and doing, and we call it transactional excellence, is like her and I, that's what we say all the time. She's probably as obsessed with that as I am about Shift. So so when you get leaders or instructors who are passionate about the topic, hopefully their content's pretty good. So also Jennifer's been doing this and this is awesome, I think, and we've actually had agents from outside Keller Williams even already asking to join this. Just a Monday market call where we talk about the health of the market, what's going on, what you're seeing, and what's the data. I think I started to challenge everybody way back when I was teaching Shift. What was that, 3-4 months ago, to start to pay attention to the data because it was going to give you all the clues you needed to know. And sure enough, it is. And so now it's turned into, she's embraced that and is doing the Monday market call. I would encourage you to do that. And even if you can't be on live, if we're recording it, if we can get it out there, just to be able to get a pulse on it. Again, like if you're like, we're here to practice real estate, right? This is our way of making a living. It's a livelihood. There's no ceiling on the earning potential of real estate. It's really just about how good you want to be at it. So, if you were going to the doctor, would you hope that they were doing their continuing education? Would you hope that they were proficient at the skills that they were working on, right? Or they just like phoned it in and occasionally just popped in on Zoom with their camera off? Which doctor do you want to go to, right? So I hope that made you feel a little squirmy because, right, it's like how we show up here is how we show up everywhere. And these types of little things, we're not doing these like for us. We're doing these for all of us, okay? So, so the market call, I'm very grateful that she's doing that we're running those, and I hope that you guys are getting value out of that, okay? Yeah.
This is probably a dumb question. I'm sure this is it, just in case somebody else also needs to know where it is. Is there an office calendar we can link on to? Where can we find that?
You mean like a Google Calendar?
Yeah.
That is something that I am actually going to start working on. We don't have one formally right now.
We don't have a living calendar. We send the calendar out and it's a fixed calendar. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, if you want the link for the Monday market, the newsletter that I sent out, Sunday evening, will have a link to the PDF and that has live links, so then you can join all of the Zoom, or register for events. But creating a Google Calendar that everyone can like add, and then like have like layer over, that's something that I'm gonna start working on. And I got some advice, actually from the, agent services mastermind that I attended, so I'll start implementing that soon. But yeah, so not right now, but in the future. So the PDF that still gets sent out is the best way to get the most accurate information.
That's a good plug for the newsletters, Eva and Alana. I challenged our leadership. Alana really takes like ownership of that, and I think you have some level of contribution to it. But Alana really owns that. I held her accountable early on. I was like, we need to be in regular communication with the office. And so a lot of the things that you're seeing here are going to be there. So if you're feeling like you don't, like you're seeing these things for the first time, that would be a place to look. But we do send the calendar out as a hard copy calendar, essentially like a digital hard copy. That way you can at least see like what topics are coming. And the live calendar is a little bit of a bigger lift, but we'll get there. Yeah. Another class is the video showing, so like how to basically practice real estate in a virtual and hybrid world. So creating video tours, important details to look out for, tips and tricks, and also things to avoid. And then there's also, so this is going to be in person, because even though we're doing the hybrid world, like you need to be able to go and do the tour of the property and figure out like how to do the walkthrough and the video. And then I don't know if you see, maybe this is like written too small, but at the bottom there it says happy hour at Blue Sky afterwards. So 4 to 5 next Monday. And then when everybody gets back, you guys can grab happy hour. So there you go. With a field trip. Agent Financials also next week. Again, can you tell that we're really putting a lot of energy into providing value? So Agent Financials, we're going over some of the basics there. And there's going to be more Agent Financials classes coming, and we actually are doing Market Center Financials from a leadership perspective. So, but Jennifer wanted to get you guys ahead of the curve in terms of some of the basics like expenses, mileage tracking, the chart of accounts that you need to be looking for, and the resources to keep your records. I was at dinner last night and I was talking with somebody who has run a very, very large successful real estate business. We were talking about profitability percentages down to like the single percent. Like he literally knew exactly how profitable his business was down to like the single digits. So if you're running a business where you're doing 1,000 units and you know your business to that level, that tells you like the level of attention to detail that you can have when you're tying your financials. So, and in a shifting market where we're seeing a lot of competition to drive the commission down and to drive our revenue down, paying attention to your financials is one of the best ways to protect yourself and your livelihood. So it might, like, I'll be honest, financials is not like a class that I'm the first one to sign up for. I'd much rather sign up for lead gen class. It's like, gets me excited. But even financials is where you actually keep your money, not where you earn it. So, okay. That's it.
Wait, yeah, come on, wait, I have a
Wait.
quick announcement, I will be out of the office, from tomorrow until Tuesday of next week. If you have any deals that need processed, get them to me today. Alana will be here, she will be hopefully, covering some of those transactions. The turnaround time may be a little bit higher, just keep that in mind. As well, another MCA announcement, agent billing has gone out and was collected. You will be receiving an email if you have not paid for the month. Please respond to that email, that is not spam. Call the office. Thank you.
So just to back that up, I don't want you to think like Eva's leaving us completely empty-handed. We've been talking about this vacation or this time off for weeks, maybe months at this point. And we were prepared, and Alana and Jennifer both have like learned the basics of the system that we need to run, the financial stuff. So, but the turn times could be a little bit longer, so just bear with us right now.
And make sure that all of your documents are in command. Because if I'm gonna process your transaction and direct deposit to your account, I will probably be a little bit more of a hard ass about it because this ain't my job. Myself.
And go back to Flynn's class where I was saying like, do you want the doctor who like didn't actually do all the parts of the job? They like left something else for the other person. Don't be that doctor.
So anyways, yes, so, appreciate your patience, when Jennifer and I are going to pay you. A couple. Our job, and so please be careful. I also wanted to give. And, you know, being able to,
Make sure you're speaking up. Lauren is just. having
yeah,
trouble.
but yeah, just making sure that, like, you know, that we're still trying to do the things for you guys in our temporary space and being able to make sure that it was a success that it was. So I want to say thank you. So I don't know if either of you guys have anything you want to plug right now. But Becky, you know, if you want to speak a little bit, or Samantha.
Yeah, we're.
Here. Author coffee for Mega Camp.
Do you want to? Yeah. Good luck. Well, Becky, do you have anything you want to share? I saw her lurking there virtually.
Hey, sorry, I lost you guys on audio, so I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or not, but hi.
Now? Are we good now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I talk really loud, so you don't have to worry about hearing me unless I'm on mute, but you're good. You can go right ahead.
Okay, cool. I don't even know if you can see me. I got a nursing baby here, so sorry about that. But yeah, hi everyone. I just want to say, Joe, that was an amazing meeting. So thank you for that. I love all the energy in the office and everything you guys are doing. So if there's ever anything from the title perspective that you guys would like a class on, I am more than happy to teach one. I've been running a series in the North right now that's kind of a back to basics class. I've been partnering with one of their lender partners down there. And just kind of going over some things that we're finding that even seasoned agents don't know about, that would really kind of make your lives a little bit easier to make sure that you understand them. The one thing is the 3-day right to know rule with the closing disclosure. It seems that's a pretty common thing that agents aren't aware of. So it's just something that, stuff like that, back to basics, that I'm more than happy to get on the schedule with Jennifer to offer that to you guys to kind of help refresh you on some things that maybe you forgot.
Awesome. I appreciate that offer. Thank you. And I think going part of like to having a great tool belt as a professional real estate agent, like having competent title and like it's part of your overall customer experience. So so I appreciate that, Becky. And as you see by our full slideshow of calendar opportunities, like we'll make something happen for October. So thank you.
Thank you.
And if we don't have anything else, then Samantha, yep. You can actually stand here. Yeah, and that camera will get you.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Sam Bauer with Goosehead Insurance, and I'm a broker. I write for about 56 different companies, and we do specialize on homeowners insurance and real estate.
You might be better, actually, you might.
Oops. That's okay. So our agency does specialize in real estate transactions. We're very focused on helping lenders and realtors get to the closing table. My commitment to my referral partners that I work with is that a closing will never be delayed. If you work with me because of homeowners insurance, which I know you guys don't have to probably deal with as much, but on the lending side, getting the evidence of insurance over on time for closing and all that kind of stuff can be a pain in the butt if you're not working with the right agent. I have a binder team that their only job is like, hey, closing date change, get this updated and over to the lender within, and they get it over within an hour. Even if I'm not in the office, I actually just emailed one over right now while I was sitting there, and it'll be over to the lender in a couple minutes for the closing on Friday. So we're fast. We have 56 different companies that we write for, which allows us to write $1 million homes all the way to like mobile homes, vacant homes. Pretty much there's not a house out there that we can't insure. So that's just like a little bit about us. I brought a little flyer that I thought I'd hand out. Some realtors that put these in there, like whenever they go to list a home or a buyer packet, they'll put these in there because it just goes through the loan process. And obviously, like step 16 is call your Goosehead insurance agent, the homeowners code. But we are fast, and my agency is growing. So I've been on my own for the last 4 years, but I'm getting to a point where I'm not as fast as I'd like to be. So I just brought on a producer who's going to start with me next week. He's in training right now. He's my husband. But then we have 2 more coming on by the end of the year. So we're going to be able to continue to provide, the fastest service to our partners possible. So yeah, so that's and I
actually have a question.
okay, yeah, please.
What changes are you seeing in the insurance industry with I've heard rumblings of a lot of rising premiums.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to hear what you're seeing.
Yeah, there are times it's really fun to be an insurance agent, and there's times it's really not fun. And now those unfortunate times where, just like you guys, the rates are raising. Underwriters are getting pickier because homeowners insurance in Western Pennsylvania is not expensive. Like we are one of the lowest markets in the country. So a lot of carriers, national carriers, come in to Western Pennsylvania with really low homeowners insurance rates to offset the businesses that are, or the states that are having like high cat losses, like California and the South, where there's hurricanes and stuff like that. So in the last 2 years, they've seen a lot of losses, a lot of like fires. People are staying home more than ever, so they're having more accidents at home more than ever. The cost of materials is going up, so claims are staying open longer than they used to because it's harder to get a roof out to fix a roof in a time. So claims are costing more, so homeowners insurance rates are going up. On the same note, underwriters are getting super picky. So I have companies who are doing inspections on renewals now. So I'm getting emails like, oh, this roof isn't any good. I'm like, it was good a year ago and it was the same roof, but they're doing things like that. So that's where it's super duper important that your clients are working with a broker. I have 56 companies that I can shop them with. when something happens, or if I know a carrier is getting picky and the house maybe isn't in the best shape, I can make sure I put it with a company that's gonna accept that. So it's the best long-term experience for the client, and they're still gonna get the best rate out there because I have so many companies to choose from. But yeah, it is a little trickier now than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I do flood insurance, that's the other thing. A lot of insurance agents, you'll call and say, hey, I just need a flood zone determination on this house, and they'll blow you off because they're not gonna do it. We do those, we do them all day long. You know, give me a day to get back to you on it at least, but I have 7 private flood carriers and a whole bunch that are the NFIP program. So if it's an FHA or VA loan, they're gonna be required to do the NFIP program. But if it's a conventional loan or a cash buyer, they can get flood insurance with a private carrier, and having all those options, as well as an agent that knows what they're doing with flood, because it's a little trickier than just a homeowner's policy. There's a lot of rules. That's important as well. So we can help you guys with that too. And then if you guys ever do want to do a seminar or anything, just like Becky said, I'd be more than happy to come in and talk in more detail, answer questions that you have about homeowners insurance, kind of things to look for as a buyer's agent to be able to help your clients know what to ask the insurance agent, but also as a listing agent, some things that you want to talk to the sellers about maybe 30 days before you list their house to make sure that they have on their policy. So there's some things that I can share with you all there too.
Yeah, I can share from an insurance perspective. I think you guys know, like, I do a lot of investment work, right? I'm work for an investment firm. We just this week got a $25,000 sidewalk replacement requirement, not from anybody else, but from the insurance carrier. So it wasn't on our budget for the investment deal. Totally screwed the investment deal, by the way. But we had, it was, you know, cracked and beat up sidewalks, and the insurance carrier is requiring that we replace the entire sidewalk area, and it's about $5,000. So being knowledgeable in all of the aspects of what touches our business is really important.
I can get to. Yeah, sorry.
No.
There,
What you said, you were saying about how there's more inspections going on. That's exactly how it popped up, right? We were acquiring these properties in a historic district, and so you know, it had some additional exterior rules as a result of that. And then along came an insurance inspection, and boom, $25,000 bill. So yeah, so it's real, and I think as agents, if we keep one of you guys. I said I'm obsessed with Bookship, but like one of the things that talks about is like the mindset that worked for you in the previous market will not serve you in the new market as they are changing the way that they're doing insurance policies. You've got to get ready and be able to have those conversations with your clients so that you're protecting them and protecting your deals. You don't want your deal to fall apart because of insurance or whatever, or you know the things that are like those policies that are changing. Like if you're giving an estimate to your clients, and you're not accounting for the fact that those premiums are going up, and you're using an old premium estimate, and your clients get mad at you because their payment's $50 higher, that's because you weren't paying attention to the market changes. So,
and that's like I have it like beat into my lenders' heads that I work with, like, don't estimate $700 anymore for homeowners insurance. Like if it was built prior to 1940, estimate $1,100, because it makes me look like a liar when I give them the quote. And then it makes the client not happy, right? And then it makes the lender's job harder, because now they've got to, like, if there's a DTI issue, they've got to like speed it in. So
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've had a few instances in the last few weeks where I'm like, oh my gosh, I told you not to estimate that low.
You know, what would be super interesting to see is like a list of just kind of how to estimate insurance. Like, the house is older than this, be this, like add 200 if this, subtract 100 if that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can never nail that down perfectly, but I have sent that out. So it also, if you guys want, I send out emails randomly. There's no method in my madness. They're not automated or anything, but when I, like the last few weeks, I've had those issues with the lenders estimating too low. I'll send out a like, hey, exactly what you just said. Here's some ideas on like when you want to estimate higher, when you want to estimate lower. If it's an investment property, right? What does that look like? So I'd be happy to send that out, and we can definitely talk through that. Just know it's an estimate. So like if they have bad credit, or if something is wonky in this house that I can't see, or the carrier isn't like the zip code, it could be higher or lower. But yeah, I've been doing this for a I've had my agency for 4 years, but I've been in insurance for almost 20, so I can give you a good ballpark on that you can actually kind of, yeah. I'd be happy to.
I'd love to have a class as we go into October with that type of stuff. I think there's a lot going on there, and we as real estate agents are really good to having that understanding. I mean, there's the contingency within the PAR sales agreement for insurance, right? And oftentimes, especially in the aggressive market, we've been rushing past that. But if you see somebody who has poor credit and suddenly can't get underwritten for insurance, and you don't have that selected, like these things start to really matter as things change. And so I'll work with you and Jennifer maybe. So I think that would be a high value. You guys can work.
Yeah. So I was, if you want this, take it. If not, take it back.
I appreciate it. We had, I think we had like 20 people online, just shy of or so, and then our in person. So appreciate it. Next month, October 18th was the date that's up there. Also, so as we get close to that date, I am not sure what our move date is yet, and it's really scary to say that, but it's like it could be October 7th, and it could be October 18th, which is it's going to be somewhere in that range. So bear with us as we get there, and definitely more communication than less as we go through this period. And then last but not least, there's going to be the Pittsburgh Mastermind that we're putting on. First time ever, all 3 of the market centers and our ownership groups for Pittsburgh are working together. We're in a group chat for the first time ever. We are really working together, and we're doing that to really make sure we're providing great value. So we're going to be doing a citywide mastermind, and so keep an eye out. And there's a very good chance that you're going to get nominated to be on a panel or to be participating. So keep an eye out for that. Does anybody need anything, or are we good? We're good. All right. See everybody next month somewhere.